Welcome to the NWO Sports Podcast. Here's your host, Logan Bailey.
Welcome to the NWO Sports Podcast, brought to you by our primary sponsor, 3Chord. I'm your host, Logan Bailey, and today on the show we have three Ayersville wrestlers who have made it down to the state for the wrestling tournament, and Abe Delano, Kasen, Wellman, and Ethan Courtaway. So thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Thank you.
First, I just want to congratulate you guys for all making it down to state. You know, that's quite the honor. Not many people can say that they do that. And Abe, you're going down the 215, Kasen in 175, and Ethan in heavyweight. So I just want to congratulate you guys here first to start.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's get this thing going. Let's just give a little bit of background about each of you. You know, what inspired you guys to start wrestling, and how has the sport kind of impacted your life to this point?
You can start.
My dad was my big motivator because he's a wrestling coach. He coached many years before I wasn't even around, but yeah, he pretty much started me off. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have wrestled.
Yeah, probably the same thing for me. My dad wrestled in high school, and he kind of made me wrestle at first when I was younger, but then I started to fall in love with it as I went on. And you know, I'm here now, so I love it. Love the sport.
For me, my dad didn't wrestle or anything, but he was friends with Kasen's dad. So when we were little, like, he would take us to the police station and we would like wrestle upstairs and stuff. And then I guess we always just wrestled from there. So.
Hey, fair enough. So you guys all kind of got influenced by, sounds like Kasen's dad or your guys' dad. So that's awesome. Well, at least we kind of know how you started. To this point in your guys' careers, have you had one defining moment or memorable moment in your wrestling career? Like, what has been the highlight of your guys' careers?
I would say the highlight of my career is, so far, I'd say probably placing third last year at state. I guess that was pretty cool for me, but hopefully the highlights this weekend. So
I guess the highlight for my career would be sometime last year at this tournament. I pinned this state ranked kid that placed at state last year, and that just kind of made me realize that I could actually be down there at state and I can compete with some of these guys there. So that just made me turn the gears on and made me work harder, and I'm going to be down there this weekend and hopefully be on the podium.
For me, I'd say probably districts last year. Winning districts gave you lots of confidence. I didn't think I was going to do as good as I did. And I guess that made me realize that I was at equal, like, with all the top guys. It made me think that I could, do pretty good.
Yeah, and I hope for all of you guys this weekend, hopefully will be the best moment. You guys are all on the podium there, so definitely rooting you guys on for that. So let's start with Abe. Abe, tell us about your journey this year. How's the season gone for you, and where are you at right now in the season?
This season's been pretty good. Started off pretty good. I won Border Wars, beating Wyatt Ripke from Ayersville, who was the state runner-up last year. And me and him have wrestled, I think, 6 times this year, or 5 times, and I'm 4-1 against him. So that's been pretty good. And then I took a loss at Maumee Bay, but I battled back and got third, which is like one of the toughest tournaments in the state. And then I don't know. It's been different this year because this is the first year that I'm not like cutting weight. So I've been wrestling up at 215 this year. So it's definitely like a lot more fun this year. So I think having fun definitely just makes it better. Like, makes you better and everything. It's just, the sport's just better.
Definitely. Kasen, how about you?
Started off the year pretty good. We wrestled a fair schedule, like decently tough, but I don't even know how many wins I have right now. I have 4 losses so far. I got my 150th career win, and then I got my 100th career pin.
Awesome.
I won Border Wars. I got second at Maumee Bay, which is probably the toughest 2 that we've wrestled so far, besides like districts and stuff. But yeah, that's about it, really.
Ethan, how about yourself?
I started the season off probably not how I wanted to. I've lost a couple matches to some people I really shouldn't have lost. And but I just kept practicing. I kept getting better, and I got better as the season went on. And obviously I put on probably my best tournament ever at districts last weekend and placed third. So I'm finally there. So
Good deal.
yeah.
Yeah, especially this time of year, you want to be wrestling at your very best. And that kind of leads me into my next point. These matches this upcoming weekend, they're going to be tough, but what are some of the biggest challenges going down to state, whether that be, maybe some opponents that you guys will face that may be tough or, looked at as the favorite, or, just being out of your environment, you're away from your hometown, you're staying in hotels, your routines are a little bit different. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I guess for me, it'd be, since this is my first time actually wrestling at state, I'm not used to the big crowd and all the noise down there. So that'll probably affect the nerves a little bit. And yeah, just not being from home, not really haven't wrestled people that I'll see at state. I don't know them, but yeah.
Yeah, very good points. I mean, the Shot is a huge venue. So actually, it'll be my first time. I'm going to be going down this weekend, so I'll be watching you guys too. I'm excited. I've never been able to go down for Wrestling State, but I heard it's a pretty good time and, a lot of good wrestling down there. So what about you guys, Abe and Kasen?
I think what he said was good. Like the first match down there, walking through the tunnel and everything, getting out, it's definitely like, I don't know. For me, the past 2 years, my first match has definitely been a little shaky, but like, after that, like once you just gotta take it one match at a time. Like, don't worry about the state final. Like, just worry about the first round and then the second round. And I think it's a lot easier when you take it that way.
I agree with that too. Like when you first walk out, we went out there for the weigh-ins. We kind of just walked around, and there was no one in the stands. But like just looking up from the floor at the empty seats was incredible. There's so many, and then once you finally go out there with everyone sitting out there, it's kind of, they'll get your nerves going. But really, after a certain point, like after my second match, you go out there and you don't even look up. You don't even notice the people. They're just blur, like, and it doesn't matter anymore. And taking it one match at a time definitely is a big thing. But I don't like how we stay in the hotels and stuff. That always messes with me because I don't know. I'm such a very like routine-based person, and like routine definitely helps me. So that kind of stuff kind of messes with me a little bit, but I did pretty good last year with that, like adjusting to that. So I think this year, having that prior like experience from last year, I should be pretty good.
Yeah, very good points. And I know, Abe, you kind of mentioned it a little bit ago about talking about wrestling against Wyatt Ripke from Archbold. Kasen, you kind of have, I feel like you guys have these rivals. Kasen, I know you've kind of wrestled Aiden Helmke a couple times back and forth. Those matches are always impressive. I like watching them a lot. They're very competitive. So can you guys just talk about those matchups? And I know you guys could potentially, I think, wrestle those two wrestlers down at state too. So
Wyatt's on the other side of me. So hopefully, I mean, if I get to wrestle him, it'll be in the state finals. That'd be cool for another rematch. But yeah, with me and him, I mean, I think last year and this year, I think we wrestled like 8 times. So like we've wrestled together, like we've practiced together in the summers. Like it's basically like he's my teammate, like he's my drill partner. Like we know what each other's gonna do, and it's just, I mean, it's a good competitive like rivalry, I guess. But like me and him are friends. Like
yeah, but I'm sure you still like coming out on top.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. For me, it's kind of the same thing, pretty much. I've been wrestling Aiden Helmke since like junior high, and it's a very like every time we wrestle, it's kind of just like slower because I know what he's gonna do and he knows what I'm gonna do. So it's kind of trying to do something new and different, but like not too far out of my comfort to where I mess up, So
right. Do you guys
that?
Do you ever feel for those matchups that you guys spend more time thinking and trying to plan out the next move rather than kind of just going at it? Do you feel like you're just kind of analyzing things more because you've wrestled each other so many times? Do you feel like you almost change your style because of that?
Sometimes definitely, but like it just depends on like when we watch film and stuff, and like we just work on things. But like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like we're wrestling each other, like me and Kasen wrestle every single day. So it's kind of just like that. But like, yeah, I guess.
For me, I have like every time that it's a close match between me and him is when I'm like thinking too hard about it and I'm trying to do something that like, I don't know. For me, I find when I'm trying to think about stuff super hard, I don't wrestle good. When I go out there with like an empty mind and I just like wrestle how I want to wrestle and not with no game plan, that's when I wrestle my best.
Now, Ethan, I know we kind of talked about their rivalries. Do you have a rivalry like in the Northwest Ohio area, or do you have someone that you kind of go at?
Not necessarily, but yeah, I guess kind of. Yeah, there's a Swanton kid Me and him kind of go back and forth. Last year, a couple years ago, I've always came out on top of this year. He's got me a couple times, and he's going to be down there at state. He got second at districts. I got third.
Okay.
So maybe we'll match up, and hopefully I can come out on top this time.
All right. We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. 3Chord is a family-owned and operated business who offers the highest quality embroidery, screen printing, sign and promotional items to customers of Northwest Ohio at competitive prices. Locations in Archbold, Napoleon, and Bowling Green. Check them out at 3chord.com. That's THREECORD.com. Optimal Performance Fitness is your go-to gym in Northwest Ohio, providing group fitness classes, personal training, and sports performance sessions for area athletes. Located in Napoleon, Ohio, give them a call today at 419-438-7265. BSN Sports is your go-to business for purchasing uniforms, equipment, spirit wear, and anything else your athletic program needs, giving you more time to impact lives on the field. With over 1,200 sales professionals who live, work, and serve in your community, we are always just a short drive or phone call away. Be sure to give your local sales rep and Jim Garris a call for any of your athletic supply needs. The Optimal Performance Fitness Basketball Academy is your elite traveling boys and girls travel basketball team in Northwest Ohio. Join them today and compete against other great competition to improve your basketball skills. Contact them today at 419-438-7265 or at optimalperformancefitness19@gmail.com for more info. For any of your auto body or collision needs, be sure to check out Bat & Stevens Body Shop, voted the #1 body shop in Northwest Ohio by Crescent News readers. Give them a call today at 419-497-3111 to schedule your free estimate. Fairchild Family Chiropractic aims to help families to get better together in the least invasive way possible. Dr. Fairchild focuses on the neck using the Blair technique and Palmer package, adjusting to correct spinal misalignments. Located in Defiance, Ohio, call Dr. Fairchild today at 419-576-5070 to schedule an appointment. Check out Tenora Rams Live. Live events broadcast on YouTube and post-game results, articles, schedules, and more can all be found on tenorarams.com. Feel free to look up their Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram pages as well. Crystal Vasquez of Amerimaid Realty is a top real estate agent in Northwest Ohio. Crystal's compassion and enthusiasm allow her to find that special property or house just for you. Located in Bryan, Ohio, give her a call today at 419-799-1243. Jimenez Basketball Academy strives to create an atmosphere to cultivate basketball fundamentals in Northwest Ohio youth athletes, offering one-on-one sessions, group sessions, speed and agility training, and much more. Located in Pettisville, Ohio, call Coach Jesse today at 419-551-8105. The Drop Zone Pizzeria is the #1 voted pizza restaurant in the region. Check them out for pizza, wings, subs, and more. Located in Ayersville and Stryker, or ask them about their traveling food trailer. Northwest Ohio Basketball hosts premier basketball tournaments for boys in grades 3 to 8 in the area. Upcoming tournaments are right around the corner. Give them a call today at 419-283-5296 or check out their website at nwoball.com. The Thunderdome is your local indoor softball and baseball facility offering private lessons, turf infield, batting cages, and pitching machine rentals, even offering a golf simulator. Located in Archbold, Ohio. Give them a call today at 419-906-3643.
Trueland Equipment and Salesman Lauren Brown are your go-to for John Deere equipment in Archbold, Ohio. Mowers, compact tractors, skid loaders, and more. Your sales expert on commercial turf and CCE sales. Give Lauren a call today at 419-445-1565.
Welcome back on the NWO Sports Podcast. Next part, we are going into some other questions for these guys, and Abe Delano, Kasen Wellman, and Ethan Courtaway. So, guys, we talked about, some of the intimidation factor of wrestling down at the Shot. It's a big venue. There's a lot of fans there. Like I said before, you guys are all going to have some big wrestling matches coming up this weekend. So how do you guys handle the nerves or the pressure before a big match? And do you guys have any pre-match rituals or routines?
Normally, I listen to music in my headphones when I'm warming up and stuff. And I like to start off listening to, when I start warming up, I warm up maybe 30 minutes before. I like to just listen to like calming, not really super calm stuff, but more relaxed type music. And it can be all sorts of different music, even 80s style music, just something to kind of keep me relaxed.
Give me an example. What kind of 80s music are you listening to?
I'll listen to Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just those two specifically are my favorites pretty much. And then the closer we get to match time, I'll switch to more serious music to kind of get me in the zone a little bit, get me more focused, and then it's time to go pretty much.
What's your go-to song to get you pumped up before a match?
Um, that's a good one. Probably Blind from Corn. That's
Okay.
a good one. Like that's like right before I go out. Otherwise, I just like I get way too tense if I listen to it earlier and on. But yeah.
Good deal. Abe and Ethan.
From I think it's just like I kind of just tell myself like some things in my head a little bit. Like I'll just be like, for example, I guess when I'm going against these like really good guys that are like top level guys, I just tell myself like, I have no pressure. Like this, like I guess like all the stuff like they like these guys I'm wrestling like they wrestle all year round. Like I'm just a baseball player. Like I'm just trying to have fun, and like that's what I tell myself. But like I listen to music and stuff, and like yeah, so I listen to what's that song called? Money for Nothing right before I go out. That's a good one by
Okay.
Van Halen. I don't know who it's by, but it's a good one.
Ethan.
I'm probably the complete opposite of Kasen. I warm up about half hour before my match. I stretch out and get everything, but as soon as I get out on the warm up mat, I put on the heavy music. I'm a heavy music type guy. I like to get pumped up before my match, and I'm always, practicing my shots and whatnot, and just moving around, staying jumping before my matches. And I like going out there and it's like smash mouth. Like that's who I am. I listen to heavy music and I get going.
All right. Now the other two guys named a song. What's your go-to song?
I really don't really have one. It's just anything in my heavy playlist, really. Just anything gets me going.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Are there any particular wrestlers? So you guys have been wrestling for a while, or teams that you kind of admire or looked up to that you kind of based your wrestling game off?
Not for me, no. I kind of just, I don't know, I like to do my own thing, I guess.
Yeah, I gotta agree with him. I don't really have anyone that I really look up to.
When I was little, I used to like look up to like the Ayersville wrestlers a lot, like the ones when like they were in probably when you were in school, honestly. But like,
Oh yeah, I guess I agree with that. I used to think like the older wrestlers, like we have a board in our wrestling room that has all our state qualifiers and placers and what they placed or whatever, what year.
Okay.
And I always used to look at the board and think like they were so much like they were non-human. They were so great and like so athletic. And then like now I'm one of them, and it just doesn't seem quite real.
Yeah, I guess I agree with Kason. I actually work with one of the guys that's on that board that was down at state about 2 times. And he always tells me his stories about when he was down at state and just everything about him. And I always looked up to him, I guess, and just makes me want to be down there and want to be down. Like I look up to him.
Yeah, no, I can totally relate, and obviously, football is my main sport. But seeing guys' names on like the All Ohio list and things like that, you kind of look up to them, and then it's almost surreal. Like once you get to that point, and you're like, "Oh, I'm at this point in my career too." So, no, I totally get where you guys are coming from. That's awesome. What advice would you guys give to younger wrestlers who aspire to reach the state, championships down in the shot or compete at a high level? What kind of advice would you give to the younger guys?
The biggest thing for me is like I'd say you want to stay on the mat year round and not necessarily like practicing every single week in the summer, but like there's a couple summer tournaments that you can go to, or maybe like a couple practices a month. And I mean, if you really love the sport, then you'll want to do that stuff. But if you just want to be good and you don't really love it that much, I think just staying on the mat a little bit is key.
I think like you just gotta like embrace it kind of thing. Like, yeah, it's gonna suck. Like wrestling's one of the hardest sports, if not the hardest sport, like physically and mentally. But like, I think you just gotta like
Buy in.
Yeah, you just gotta buy in, and like it's been hard, but at the end, like we have 2 more practices left for like the rest of our lives, so it's kind of crazy, but like it's definitely been worth it.
Yeah, I got to agree with both of them. Just do something in the off season, whether it's roll around a couple times a week or a month even, and just stay active. Also doing other sports helps to just stay in shape, keep lifting and whatnot, and just buy in. Also, just stick it out. It always sucks. Practice is not fun, but if I could go back, I really would. You know, I love wrestling. It's awesome.
All excellent points. Last few questions here for you guys. What are your goals behind high school wrestling and the future?
I don't know. Just start working and make money, I guess. It's kind of what I want to do. I wouldn't mind like coaching and helping out with wrestling, especially with my younger brother. He's in 7th grade. I definitely would like to make him the most successful Wellman yet. I think that'd be pretty cool to play a part in that. So
yeah, I got to go with Kasen too. So I actually do have a job lined up already for when I graduate, and I wouldn't mind helping out with football a little bit, but I also definitely plan to help out with wrestling next year. I also help out with the like the biddy program we have at Ayersville. I'd like to help out with the little kids, and I plan to coach high school as well. It's just I want to give people that coach that I never had when I was younger, and I just want people to be the best they can. And I love helping out with those kids.
I think that I'm gonna play college baseball, and hopefully that's all good. But I would say my goals are just to be successful in college with baseball, and then get a degree. And then if baseball takes me farther, then that'll be good. And if not, I'll have my backup plan with my degree.
All right. Last question here for you guys. What does being a wrestler mean to you, and how has it shaped you as an individual, both on and off the mat? You know, what has wrestling really helped you guys with?
I guess for me, it would be the discipline, the mental and physical discipline. Just sometimes you'll wake up and you won't want to get up or do anything. And wrestling's taught me to just get up, keep going. It sucks, but you got to push through it. And just the discipline really helped me out and helped me become the man I am today.
Definitely discipline's probably the best word, especially with like cutting weight and stuff, and like just like cutting weight's like really hard, and you gotta be disciplined, especially when there's people like, the kids on the basketball team who are like trolling you with food, and like you just gotta be disciplined. So like I would say that, and I would say like grit. You gotta have some grit, like I don't know. Kind of like a Dan Campbell kind of thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely discipline and grit. I like both of those words, but for me, it's like there's been certain times over the summer when I was working my job and I was like outside, it's 100+ degrees. There's a couple of days where it was like 101 or whatever, super hot, and we're doing siding out in the sun with no shade or anything, and I'm like sweating and stuff, and I really hated it. But wrestling practices are way harder, and I just think back to that, like, this isn't bad. I made it through practice that one day that really sucked, and this isn't really anything compared to that. It's hot, whatever. And then there's also been times where, like, also at work, I'm hungry and lunch isn't for another couple hours. Like, I'm already hungry and it's early in the morning. And I know there's been certain days where I kind of just like almost laugh about like, oh, I felt this pain before and it's not bad yet. You know what I mean? I'm not even,
right.
It's not even as bad as it could be. So stuff like that.
Well, you guys knocked it out of the park. So I just want to thank you guys for your time. Wish you all best of luck down at the state championships this weekend. Definitely be rooting you on. Probably see you guys down there. So again, good luck and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors: 3Chord, BSN Sports, Bat & Stevens Body Shop, Tenor Rams Live, Jimenez Basketball Academy, Fairchild Family Chiropractic, NWO Basketball, the Drop Zone Pizzeria, Crystal Vasquez of Amerimaid Realty, Optimal Performance Fitness, Basketball Academy, the Thunderdome, and Lauren Brown at Truland Equipment. Stay tuned for the next NWO Sports podcast in the near future, and thanks for listening.